Hey, y'all, Choice here. Thank you again for joining me for another session. Of Choice Spirit. Today, I'm going to speak a little bit on how the manipulation of your mind, at least one of the ways. There's so many ways, and hopefully I'll get to it in various videos. But this is just so that you can what we used to call peak the game. Peak the game. You know, it's almost like a cheat code to what's really going on. But anyway, this is going to be about how they prepare you psychologically for the next thing they're going to play out. See, they always tell you what they're going to do. And we have no excuse, because actually we have holy books and doctrine that tell us what's happening. But because we read it with our eyes, we read it from a narrow perspective, we miss much of what's being said. Though there are many people that know and are awakened, has people that are awake, and those who are wanting to really teach that, and those who are really wanting to teach the truth. They are now reading the scriptures. They are now reading the scriptures in a way where it brings more clarity, where people are able to gain deeper insight and wisdom from or knowledge that unlocks the wisdom within. So more and more people are interpreting our scriptures, our doctrine, from a different perspective, and they're gaining insight, which then opens the door for more wisdom to be released, so that we have a better understanding. And I always like to say, we are not designed, our minds are not designed to know all that the Almighty is, the Most High is. You know, trying to really know this will never be. We only do our best to gain some knowledge, and then allow the wisdom to unfold for us, so that we can get a deeper understanding of what this whole thing about life is. Okay, so everyone has their point of view, and everyone has their right. This is a human right, the divine right, and free will to explore what life is. Because remember, whatever we do adds to all that is, because we are that. There is no separation. So with that said, I will go off topic a little bit and talk about whenever you set out to do that. Once, you know, I talk about going within, letting that guide you and direct you in your ways, through your pathways, and the various in your various endeavors. A lot of times we can get caught up and entangled with other people who may not understand what we are needing to do for our soul's purpose. And so whatever you do seems like it's an attack on them, or that you are not, or that you're not respecting their wishes, or that you are, you kind of like fall short in what they need you to be in the relationship that you may be in, whatever type of relationship that is, where it be, a relationship with your children, a relationship with your mate, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your co-workers, your business associates, your friends. Many expect you to be a certain way for them to feel a certain way. And we also do that, where we need people to be a certain way for us to feel a certain way. We fall into that neediness state. Neediness. But I'm here to say that anything that you are really needy about promotes neediness. Okay? So that's all neediness, understand, is stuff that's happening on the outside. It's not what's happening on the inside, unless it has something to do with the ego part of you, which we'll talk about in another video. But let me get back to how we are guided to do things, but we don't act on it because we want to be accepted. We want to do the right things by others. And in us wanting to do the right things by others, we negate ourselves. We forsake ourselves. And when you do that, time goes by, though there is said not to be any time, but time goes by. And you can find yourself in a situation playing out an archetype, a characteristic, a character, if you will, who has a need to fall in line with the needs of others, to pacify the needs of others. And you can find yourself in one situation after another, and one relationship after another, where you are creating scenarios and situations where you have to become the pacifier. And you enable people by being that for them, so that you can play your role, which is the neediness, and then the pacifier, and then the victim, and therefore not really fulfilling your soul's purpose, the urges that come from within. And so it becomes an internal struggle, where we then struggle with ourselves because we're unable to move ourselves in the direction that our soul or that urge is moving us, pushing us, is urging us to move. How can I say this? Yeah, it's urging us to move forward, but we are kind of stuck attempting to fulfill the needs of others around us. Now, I'm not speaking of needs of young people and infants and elderly and stuff like that, But there's a way to work that out, and I'll speak about that on another video. But right now I'm speaking about relationships with grown folk, grown, capable folk. And we do everything in our power to be there for them in the way that they need us to be there. And then we enable them, and we become codependent. They codependent on us, and we're codependent on them. We're dependent on each other, fighting ourselves internally and codependent externally. So we are not allowing ourselves to truly live up to our potential. And we use the excuse that of what others are asking for us to be. We use that as an excuse for not being all that we can be. But that's actually wasn't what I had in mind to talk about. What I had in mind to talk about was the cheat codes for peaking the game. So just a quick word about enabling and people coming into our lives and us making excuses for not being all that we can be, when we just need to let go and let the Most High and prepare ourselves to be all that we are, and allow ourselves to be all that we are. So, quick word, I don't know how far off I went, but anyway, Choice here. Thank you so very much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Namaste. Peace.